Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Well, I wanted to say to you fellas, I appreciate all your interest in these Ford heads and the Fox body stuff, and it's nice to know I have a lot of support. But it's not just us Ford guys, we have some Mopar friends and some GM friends. So thank you fellas, we're all a bunch of racers and car guys and performance guys, it's nice. But one of the things I wanted to say is that if you guys enjoy this content that I'm doing, there's other guys on our channel that have their videos out there. And one of the guys is JD Rods. He's doing a transmission swap right now from AOD to a stick and upgrading performance with heads and stuff. So check his channel out, guys. He's doing a super job. Sorry, fellas. I'm having a hard time talking again. Just inhaled some stuff here. But anyway, fellas, getting back to these heads. One of the problems with these fellas, since I've been getting into them, is the combustion chamber. And I did outline some things here. I hope it shows up. The main problem with these heads is the combustion chamber. And everybody thinks that's a good thing because it brings the compression up. But the bad thing is about these heads is right in here around the boss, the plug, and back in here, it doesn't really show up too well on film. Guys, that creates a bad vortex, and it's really bad for blowing the spark plug out. And that's something I'm really concerned about, being this is going to be on nitrous. I know you can use a non-projective plug or a recessed plug, whatever you want to call it. And these heads actually pretty well had that back in the day. The plugs were actually a recessed plug or a kind of non-projective, whatever way you want to say it. But how do you fix this, guys? All this here, and I pointed out before where this sticks up here, and I don't know if you can tell, guys, how deep this really is here, that pocket. And then it's sharp here, and it goes across to the valve here. So there's a lot of bad things going on. It goes outwards here. Sorry, guys, I have the sun in my eyes here. It's hard to see out here. I brought the heads out here so I could hopefully show you guys better, because the light doesn't do a good job in the garage. But even the combustion chamber here, where it comes back to the valves, and especially on the intake valve right here, that's up. There's really nowhere for that air to go in these combustion chambers. It's just kind of a mess, and that's how I look at it. And as far as flow numbers and stuff go, if you can make that flatter back here, sorry guys, I'm off on the phone again here. If you can have a better area right in here, that helps it breathe. So what do you do about that mess, fellas? What do you do about it? Well, I'm going to show you what I did about it, so all my compression buddies don't get upset, because I will be taking care of the compression. The compression will be fine. I'm going to mill them down and use whatever gasket I have to use, okay, fellas? So don't have a heart attack, because if I feel like I'm doing something wrong when I do these things myself, guys. These heads been around like this for years, but to make them how I want them to be, guys, I have to do these things. But I redid the combustion chamber, fellas. It's more in the lines of E7. Not exactly, but I marked them so you can see the difference. You're like, wow, how's he ever going to make that up, right? As you can see, this outline of the gasket, and there's the outline of the gasket. But guys, if you only see how this contour is in right now. I'm sorry, fellas, the sun keeps getting in my eyes here. I cut this back here compared to this, and it's worse in person, fellas. This doesn't really bring out the worst of it here, but that's going to be a lot nicer for flame throw as far as I'm concerned. And then back here, that's actually flat, fellas. I cut the high spot out. It's a lot better. There's a lot more area for the air to move around here, and to me it's just a better design. So that's where I'm at with this, fellas. Of course, you can tell down here I angled this out and back. So these are things I've done in the past with other heads. It's just not this aggressive as far as changing something up like this, guys. But what do? Do you leave it and just work around it? Well, most people would. They would just do whatever. And I'm not one of them guys, fellas. Believe me, all this work isn't fun. And another thing I want to show you guys is this. The short turn is very narrow. I don't know if that shows up or not. And there's no room for that in the short turn. So what I did, I widened that. I'm still working on that. I haven't really gotten into that yet, but I just did a little bit to it. So I'm hoping you can see. It's already wider in the corners here. And I widened it out here. But what I don't want to do, fellas, is cut this back too much. I see people pride themselves on cutting this back and saying how they have more top end and pick up flow numbers. Well, one of the things they're overlooking, the more airspeed you get out of here, the air will outrun the fuel. And you're going to have fuel dumping into that cylinder that's wet, and it's going to be unburned, and that's not a good thing. Darren Morgan addressed that, and if you don't want to take that to heart, look him up, because he'll give you a whole different outlook on that. But I mean, these are things I've done in the past anyway, but it's nice when somebody kind of puts it out there that you can put some faith into. So there's only a few people that I put faith into, fellas, and he's one of them. And you gotta be careful who we listen to out there, because some of these guys go say, oh, look at the throat on this, look what I did, and it would look good, but it's not helping. The one guy I watch on YouTube, he's very well known with heads, sells heads, and his work looks really nice, but he prides himself on the short turn, making it real big, laying it back on every head, and I disagree with that, because every head's different. You might have to do that on this head. Another head, you might mess it up by even trying to make that short turn better. And LS head's one of them, fellas. People get too carried away with the LS head. If they play with that short turn too much on that head, they're going to be in trouble. So I guess I put that out there for our GM friends that might be doing heads too, because I don't want to leave anybody in the dark when it comes to information. If I can squeeze it in somehow, I want to do it. But that's it, guys. I thought I'd just keep you updated. And this is actually my plan. This is about what we're going to wind up with. And instead of making you guys wait for however long it's going to take me to do these, because, well, I can take a walk around the yard here, fellas, and show you. People's been asking about what we have, and this is our friend's car. We have to finish this up. Still needs the trans on it, and some other things going over. And this one here is my son's girlfriend's car. I showed you this before. This has to be completely put together. There's the 4-cylinder rear in it. It's got to come out. 8.8's got to go in it. And there's no drivetrain at all. The engine's in the garage. But that's this car. Then we have my car that needs to be going over, as you know. So, I would tell you excuse the mess, fellas, but it's been like this all year. There's not enough time in the world to get this stuff cleaned up and out of here, and every time I try it winds up worse. And then we have the wagon. Well, the intake might be kind of a giveaway. Less coyote. And under the tarp here. Oh, if I can get it. Here's the coyote engine. It's not too clean, guys. But after I show you that, because that's the kind of stuff we run. People put their builds out there. We run nothing too new. It always has miles on it. And then here's my truck. So this is another thing we have to do. The 460. And this isn't going to be no overnight thing. You're going to be seeing segments on this, guys. This is one of them deals. It's going to be, I think, a fun build. It started out fun. I turned it into something that wasn't fun. But then we have this car that's got to be put all back together. The Green Gangster, which is ripped apart completely with the drivetrain. And my son wants to upgrade stuff and do things to it and try to make it a nice car again. This thing was in perfect shape at one time. And then there's this. Guys, we're out here till 2:30 in the morning last night after my son gets off work at 11. And that's what happens. That's why kind of cleaning up's the last thing on his mind. And it's always a mess in here, but you can only do one thing at a time. And what he's doing now, he's redoing the floors. He had his template floors in, and he ripped them back out. Last night he put the support in for the seat, and that's temporarily tacked in somewhat. But I just thought I'd show you guys this. That's what takes so long. This is why when we have our builds and stuff, fellas, that I'm kind of hoping you'll hang in there and understand when it's a time thing. So imagine all this work and then doing the head work on top of it. And he's actually made a couple changes here already, where he put the other valve covers back on with the coil packs. So I don't know why he did that, if he's staying like that, or if it's something he's changed his mind about, or if it's something he's just doing for the time being. I don't know. He hasn't told me. But anyway, guys, I thought I'd show you this and explain things. When I talk, it gives you more of a better understanding of how things go when you're trying to get things done. So, but anyway, guys, like I said, I appreciate you fellas checking me out, and anything I can ever do to help you fellas, all you have to do is send me a comment, and I'll do the best I can to answer that for you if I know. And if I don't know, I'll try to find out. All right, guys, have a good day, and thanks again. Take care.